Dear viewers, thank you very much for play this video. I have appeared in front of you again today. Today I will present a motivational video for beginners. My topic today is about how to make a movie with Dash 3D animation tools and basic concepts of animation. Watch this video carefully and you will benefit even a little bit. If you are new to my channel, please be sure to subscribe. This article is a dedicated Dash Studio animation tutorial that covers everything connected to animations. Dash 3D animation possibilities are quite good and diverse. So we are going to inform you about all the main aspects of the animation, such as interface and main tools and different ways animate avatars or objects and more. The goal is to allow a total newbie to animate in Dash Studio. We will teach you everything you need to know to start animating and improving on it. If you prefer to part of it as a below Dash Studio animation, otherwise keep reading. When you open Dash Studio, you should be greeted with something similar to the screenshot below. By default, you should have both tabs for the timeline and an animate available at the bottom. Just press on any of them and they would open. If you don't have these tabs there, don't worry, you can easily find them same as any other windows in the window panes option. The default timeline in Dash Studio is, to say frankly, not the best. The Animate 2, on the other hand, is a much better tool in all ways, but by default you only have the lead version of Animate and need to buy the full version to use it. If you have the full version, then the timeline tool would become obsolete. If you don't, then the best way is to use both Animate, Lead and Timeline. Easy Dash Studio animation using preset. Firstly, let's look at the Animate Lead, as it is arguably easier to understand and work with than Timeline. After you add any figure to your scene, you will see something like this. At the top you have all the time controls. You can start Dash Studio animation, go to the start or end of the animation, loop it or select the specific frame that you want. Right above our character is a menu for controlling layers, but we don't have access to that in the lead version. And at the bottom we have animation preset that we can choose from. Let's pay more attention to the last thing we mentioned, animation presets at the bottom. If you mouse over available animations, you can see how your character is executing them in real time. Choose any Dash 3D animation that you like now on it and drag it to the timeline, so you would end up with this. Now your character is animated. These cyan blocks are called any blocks. You can press the play button and look how the figure moves, but it is just a one preset, not a full animation. We will now combine a couple of presets. Animate tool is really great in combining animations. Let's make our character work. If you click on the button on the bottom left of the animate interface, you will see a drop down menu. In this menu, you have all of the available animations that you can use. We are interested in the works category. You can also find these presets in your smart content menu. In the animation section, they work absolutely the same. Now let's try to combine the animations. Find and drag into the timeline the start and G8F forward. Put them close together, you should end up with this. Don't forget to right click on the white quadrangle just above your any blocks and select auto adjust. If you don't do this, the length of your dash 3D animation will not be adjusted. After doing this, you can press and watch your character perform all three animations one after another seamless. And you can experiment with this to make something more difficult. Use turns or other animations. The default amount of the animation presets are quite low and not really diverse, but you can buy more on the Dash 3D store. Mainly pay attention to the animation megapacks and posar mockup user that has over 30 animation packs on different themes, but double check if your preferred Genesis generation is supported. Creating figure animation manually. The following will teach you how to animate a dash figure manually. Timeline interface. We already showed you preset animations and how to find and use them. But these are predetermined, and what if there are no animations for your situation? Well, as we mentioned, you can try to find needed animation in the shop, or you can create your Dash Studio animation yourself. We will explain how. We will work with the timeline tool this time, so let's get to know it better. For now, we will not change any settings, but you will need it in the future. Here is main interface of the timeline. On the left, you can see all your available characters that you can animate. A bit to the is the timeline itself. You can see all the frames there and keyframes. On the timeline, there is a yellow triangle that shows what frames it is on the scene now, and black triangles are the keyframes. Bottom left is for everything about frames. You can see and sense how many frames in the animation, their range, current frame and frames per second. At the center controls for playing animation, you can play animation, jump to keyframes, go to the end and start or loop animation, and to the right is the controls for keyframes. You can add and delete keyframes with these buttons. Animation from process. Now we can create something. Firstly, you need to add a character. Then choose any pose from the poses section in the smart content. This will automatically create a keyframe. Then change your current frame to somewhere later. The last frame would be good. You can do this by dragging the yellow triangle along the timeline or by typing the number in the current setting at the bottom. After doing that, just choose any other process from the selection, preferably something similar to the first one. This will create a keyframe at the current frame. You will end up with something. If there is any mistake in my video, please comment. Any comments will make my way easier. Your valuable comments will motivate me to make new videos. Thank you for watching my video. Like and subscribe my channel. See you again next tutorial.